The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
The city of Memphis, Tennessee is known the world over as a capital of culture and entertainment. But today, the wailing guitars from Beale Street are being replaced with the screaming engines of the Powerboat Superleague as the mighty Mississippi is being transformed from a waterway to a speedway. Over 24 of the world's best have come to Memphis with the goal of entering the history books. Who will be named Can-Am champion? Who will be forever known as the first powerboat racer to win in Memphis? From the banks of the mighty Mississippi River at Tom Lee Park, it's Powerboat Superleague racing at the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta. Hi everybody, I'm Jared Romsberg alongside my partner Mike Tilton, ready to bring you all the action from an exciting day of racing here in Memphis. Mike, this is a historic event. This is the first time the Powerboat Superleague has ever been in Memphis, but this is also an event where they're racing for a very prestigious award.
Absolutely, Jared. The Can-Am Challenge is on the line. We've got a lot of Canadian drivers here vying for the title, and I think it's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be a great one because we have both classes of racing here from Powerboat Superleague, both a Formula 2 and a Formula 3. Let's start off talking about the Formula 3. For the first time in a long time, we have a new face at the top of the championship points.
Well, the Magic Man Mike Hooper is on top. He's from Markham, Ontario, Canada, so you know he wants that championship going back to Canada with him.
That's right, and we also have the F2s here, the Formula 2 boats. Mark Jacobs is on top of the championship points there, but Mike, there is a ton of boats here, a huge fleet looking to knock him off his perch.
Well, 17 of the top drivers in the world here vying for the Can-Am Challenge. Mark Jacobs is going to have his hands full. Terry Rinker's here from Florida. Johnny Fleming from Texas, Mike Schubert from Texas. All the big names in the sport are here. I can't wait to get to the action.
I think there's going to be plenty of action, Mike, and we're going to start our coverage when we come back to the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta's presentation of Powerboat Superleague Racing right after this.
The 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta's presentation of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau, Memphis, the home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll. By the Memphis Riverfront Development Corporation, creating a world-class riverfront in Memphis. By the American Powerboat Association. Learn more at apba-racing.com. And by aprsuperleague.com, the official website of Powerboat Superleague. This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by the Memphis Riverfront Development Corporation. Learn more at memphisriverfront.com.
Welcome back to Tom Lee Park, where the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta is in full swing. The fans are waiting patiently as we get ready for the first of 2 feature races here on the Mississippi today. Since this is the first time powerboats have raced in Memphis, let's take a look at the Formula 3 boats. The boats in the Powerboat Superleague's Formula 3 fleet are 15 feet long. With the driver, they must weigh at least 800 pounds. Their 90 horsepower engines power the boats to a top speed of nearly 90 miles per hour. The Superleague has been racing these boats since 1989, with their first race being in Charleston, South Carolina. Now that you are a little more up to speed, let's take a look at how the boats will line up here in Memphis for the Formula 3 Can-Am Championship. Carol Reno from Okeechobee, Florida will start 11th. Steve DeNicolantonio from Longboat Key, Florida will be starting in the 10th position. Steve's been racing for nearly 2 decades and is an experienced boat racer. In 9th, we find the Monster Energy Drinks boat of Dan Bunting. A native of Columbus, Ohio, Dan is in his 2nd season of powerboat racing. The 8th place slot is held by Punta Gorda, Florida's Bill Mastro. Bill is a veteran driver with a powerboat resume that dates back over 30 years. Toby Hood from McConnellstown, Pennsylvania will be starting 7th. Toby is our defending Rookie of the Year, so watch for him to move up. Chip Wavero from Sparta, Georgia will be starting 6th. He's still looking to get his boat back in shape after a wild accident in Pittsburgh. Kankakee, Illinois' Sammy Miller earned a top 5 start. He's a former F3 national champion and is looking for his first win since 2007. In 4th is one of 3 Canadian drivers, Tammy Wolf-Jacob. Her husband Mark is her crew chief and is our F2 championship points leader. Speaking of points leader, here's our current F3 points leader, Mike Hooper. The Markham, Ontario driver will be starting in the third place slot. Mike Tilton caught up with him in the paddock. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. 2 weeks ago in Marietta, Ohio, Mike Hooper won the North American Championship. And Mike, this weekend, the Can-Am Challenge on the line for the Canadian American Championship. And you're from Markham, Ontario, Canada. I bet you want to take that trophy back as well.
I definitely do, Mike. Having that plaque on the wall in the bar will mean quite a bit to me once again.
Well, you're the only Sy-Craft boat out here. What's so special about this Rob Sy built craft?
Well, it's definitely a much different boat than most of them around here. It's wider through the sponsons, and it turns real good. And I've always wanted to drive a Sy-Craft ever since I was about 8 years old, watching Robbie turn laps up on the Cottage Lake up in Muskoka, Canada. And now I'm doing it, and I feel great about it. And I feel even better that he's on my radios being my crew chief.
Well, I tell you what, 20-lap main event coming up, Rob Sy on the radio. Competition is tough out here. What's it going to take to put you in that #1 spot?
As long as the boat stays together out there and we don't hit any debris and stay in one piece, I think we have a good shot at it, Mike.
Great. Thanks, Magic Man. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Starting next to Hooper is our defending Formula 3 champ, Brent Dillard. The South Carolinian is just 5 points behind Hooper and is looking to move up. Mike has caught up with him for his comments. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with Brent Dillard. And Brent, you're second place in points, and you're not used to being in that second spot. You're our season champion from last year, and I know you don't like that second place.
Well, yeah, I'm in second place this year, but it's more challenging this year. People are running a whole lot better. Mike Cooper is leading the points. He's really got luck on his side, and he's running good. And when you got both of those, you're going to be the leader.
Well, first time here in the muddy Mississippi, and lots of current out there. How's that going to affect your driving style?
Well, going against the current when I turn. We're going with the current and then against the current when I turn into it. It's going to want to hook me. And then going the opposite, it's going to want to barrel roll me. So just going to have to break the throttle a little bit more in the turns, set the boat.
Well, good luck this afternoon. Lots of competition here, and I know you want that #1 spot.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to be #1 again.
And starting on the pole for the Formula 3 feature here in Memphis is two-time series champion Sam LeBanco. The Northbrook, Illinois driver has the honor of starting first at the first Powerboat race here in Memphis. Here's Mike with our pole sitter. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Standing here with me now, Sam LeBanco, and he had a birthday this week. Boy, wouldn't it be special to come away with the win here in Memphis on your birthday?
It'd be great. I'd love it. Yeah, it's always special to come away with a win, no doubt.
Well, lots of competition here. You got Brent Dillard, you got Mike Hooper. What's it going to take to put you guys up front?
Well, you know, the conditions out there are a little bit interesting. So, as usual, you know, a good start is the #1 thing. Get through the first corner, and then just stay lucky and stay fast.
Well, 20 laps of racing coming up. Good luck, Sam, on your birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We have to step away, but don't you go anywhere. We are just minutes away from the start of the Powerboat Superleague's Formula 3 feature here at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta. We'll drop the green when we come back right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Memphis, the home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll.
Welcome back to the shores of the Mississippi River here at Tom Lee Park in Memphis, Tennessee, where the shoreline is starting to fill up with race fans. We are mere seconds away from the start of the Powerboat Superleague's Formula 3 feature race. Let's take a look at the starting order. Sam LeBanco earned the pole position as the fast qualifier. But our defending series champ Brent Dillard, our current points leader Mike Hooper, and the rest of the field are ready to try to move to the front. The Formula 3 boats are lined up abreast of the pace boat. They will forego the usual Grand Prix start due to trouble with the starting dock. This means it will be a 6-wide battle for the lead to the first turn. Waiting for the green flag to fly, and it does. And here we go, Memphis. Powerboat Superleague racing is underway. Side by side for second as Mike Hooper is riding shotgun with Brent Dillard down the front stretch. Only a few feet apart at well over 80 miles per hour. Sam LeBanco scoots away with the lead, but Hooper stays in Dillard's back pocket through the turns. Side by side they come down the back stretch with Chip Wavero coming up on the outside. Through 3 and 4, and Hooper cannot hold the line. He lost power out of 4, and Hooper will have to play catch up early. Tammy Wolf-Jacob and Chip Wavero are side by side for 4th. Look at the power behind that pink Hard Rock Cafe boat as they fly past the start-finish line. Inches apart, they might have made contact there as Wavero was trying to move to the inside line. Wolf Jacob holds the preferred line as they go through turns 1 and 2. Early race excitement as these two go nose to nose again down the backstretch. Wavero has a solid run, but Tammy keeps the line and holds on to 4th into 3. She slid wide and gives Wavero a look at the inside line again, but that pink 8 boat digs into the water and keeps the field in her wake. Tammy is one of 3 Canadian drivers in the field today in this first race in Memphis that is also serving as the site for the 09 Can-Am Championship. She skips through 1 and 2 with Wavero a few boat lengths behind. There's our leader, Sam Labanco. He's out in front and has avoided any confrontation thus far. We hop on board with our leader as the 44 rifles down the front stretch in front of the thousands who are lining the shoreline here in Memphis. Inside the cockpit now, you can see that this is no Sunday boat ride out there. But hey, Sam is so cool about this, he's kept his sunglasses on. Sam is a native of the Chicago area and is a familiar face with Powerboat Superleague fans. He is a 2-time champion of the F3 Series and is a past world champion, taking home those honors in 2007. But he knows that he has this guy lurking in second. Brent Dillard is the defending series champion and is currently second in points for 09. On board with the Dalzell, South Carolina native now, Dillard is coming off a disappointing race in Marietta, Ohio, where he finished 3rd after starting on the pole. And here's the man that won that race, our points leader, Mike Hooper. The leading Canadian in the fleet today, Hooper is from Ontario and is always a threat to arrive at the top of the podium. Hooper earned the title of North American champion in Marietta, and he is trying to earn the Can-Am championship today here in Memphis. And right behind him, we have Tammy Wolf Jacob, who has trouble out of 2, and here comes Chip Wavero. Wavero to the outside, and the Sparta, Georgia native blows by Tammy as she got held up in turn 2. You can see that there's some damage to the 10 boat. Wavero blew the boat over in spectacular fashion at the Powerboat Superleague race in Pittsburgh in July. Then at our last race in Marietta, Wavero bowed out after the first lap and finished dead last. So he is looking to salvage something for 2009 with a good run here in Memphis. Toby Hood is making a strong run now against Wolf Jacob on the front stretch. Toby Hood has the inside line, but again, look at the power behind Tammy as she moves right back alongside our defending Rookie of the Year. Nose to nose, prop to prop, down the backstretch, and into turn 3 they go. Hood makes a spectacular turn, and Tammy goes way wide as Hood has a run on Wavero for 4th. Down the front stretch they fly, and Hood takes 2 positions in as many laps, moving the 64 boat to 4th. Wavero's bad luck looks to be catching up to him again. He's struggling, and Wolf Jacob gets by him for 5th. There's Toby Hood, the 2008 F3 Rookie of the Year. The McConnellstown, Pennsylvania native has had a decent season so far. While he finished a disappointing 12th in Marietta, he had a solid run in Pittsburgh. He struck a buoy, was penalized a lap, but still managed a top 10 finish. There's our leader, Sam Labanco. He's already coming out of turn 2 and is working on a day of complete dominance. He started on the pole and has been the pace setter so far today. Sam is a veteran powerboat racer with over 3 decades of experience on the water. We hop on board with Sam and we see the skyline of the lovely metropolis of Memphis off the end of his nose. Brent Dillard is in hot pursuit, taking up plenty of space into 44's mirrors. Back on board with Dillard now, the water continues to get rougher and rougher as the laps continue to tick away. Whoa, it looks like Labanco had a little bit of trouble there going into turn 1. He gets it righted and hits the throttle down the backstretch. He's coming up on the Monster Energy Drinks boat of Dan Bunting. Labanco is an accomplished racer with 24 national titles to his name. Whoa, Bunting spins out of turn 4, only a few feet in front of the leader. Again, Labanco hits the afterburner and hightails it out of there. Bunting kept his boat running and he's back in the race, but not before giving the leader a jolt here in the early stages of this race. And Brent Dillard has reeled Labanco in. He's within a few boat lengths of the leader now, and he has trouble. He kept it rolling, but he has lost precious time with our leader now able to extend his lead. We'll ride with Sam as we head out to a break with 8 laps down. It's Labanco, Dillard, Hooper, Hood, and Tammy Wolf-Jacob. We're racing from Memphis right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Super League Racing is brought to you by GoPro Motorsports Hero Cameras. Be a hero.
Welcome back to the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta, where Sam Labanco has the Formula 3 feature well in hand. But this young man, Brent Dillard, is driving the paint off of his boat, trying to catch up with the wily veteran Labanco. He's also trying to stay ahead of the 52 boat of the Magic Man, Mike Cooper. Cooper has a razor-thin lead for the Powerboat Super League Formula 3 Championship, and Dillard is looking to move back up to the top of the list. Everyone is following this guy, Sam Labanco. Sam was the fast qualifier starting on the pole. He shot ahead as soon as the flag dropped. Does not look back. He's coming up on the 7th place boat of Sammy Miller. Miller is currently 3rd in points after a 2nd place finish in Marietta. Back on board with our leader, he skips across the top of the Mississippi at speeds approaching 80 miles per hour. You can see that it is physically as well as mentally grueling inside the cockpit. Labanco is looking both forward and backward as he's approaching lap traffic, as the 2nd place 80 boat of Brent Dillard is waiting anxiously for Labanco to make some sort of error. Dillard is keeping Labanco within his grasp. He has not been more than 5 boat lengths away from the leader the entire race. Dillard moves to the outside and tries to make a run on Labanco, but it looks like he might have had some trouble with the 7 boat of Sammy Miller, who is trying to stay on the lead lap. There you can see Miller moving to the outside of the leader. That is where Dillard would like to be as we enter the final stages of this 20-lap feature. Dillard hit turn 2 with near perfection, but Labanco is still powering away. The 44 is giving a clinic on how to dominate a race here in Memphis today. A beautiful day here on the Mississippi as this beautiful city is welcoming powerboat racing on its waters for the first time ever. Labanco went wide out of 4, and here comes Dillard to the inside. He moves to the outside through the 44's wake. Labanco keeps his lead as they cross the start-finish line again. Dillard is trying the outside line again as the 2 come right at you and into turn 1. Lots of lapped boats in front of our leader, and the orange 80 boat of Brent Dillard looks like he's making up some time. But keep in mind, Dillard will have to deal with the lapped boats too, and you can bet Labanco will be on the gas after he makes it through traffic. Down the front stretch come 1st and 2nd, with 3rd place Mike Cooper just midway on the back stretch. The leader dives into turn 1 again. We ride with Carol Reno, who's going a lap down. She's in 6th place now and smartly moves aside, letting the faster boats slide by. There goes Sam Labanco to the left of Reno. There are several lady drivers in the Powerboat Super League. 2 are with us today in the Formula 3s, Carol Reno and Tammy Wolf-Jacob. Carol drives a boat with an open cockpit, giving you a unique view of the controls as she maneuvers her boat through 3 and 4. There's our 3rd place driver, Mike Cooper. While he was the points leader, a 3rd place finish may not be enough to keep him there after today. And with the distance there is between him and the leaders, the Magic Man needs to cast a powerful spell to move him to the lead. We catch up with the 4th place boat of Toby Hood. The Pennsylvanian is running another solid race and needs to focus on hitting his marks and not the buoys as we come to the final laps of this race. Hood is exiting turn 2, and the leader is already coming down the front stretch. Sam Labanco is completing a day of dominance here in Memphis, showing the fans a phenomenal show. But he has to be keeping an eye on his mirrors because they are full of one very brightly painted orange boat. Brent Dillard has been doing everything in his power to catch up to the leader since the green dropped. He has tried the outside line and the inside line on Labanco with no luck in either place. Just when he thinks he's making up some ground, the 44 powers away again and again. Labanco now crosses the start-finish line and sees the white flag. 1 lap to go for the Formula 3s in Memphis. Brent Dillard has now hit the part of the race where he has to use every trick in his playbook to pick up some ground. Back on board with our leader as we fly down the backstretch one last time as Sam Labanco looks to be on his way to his first Powerboat Superleague victory of the 2009 season. One more time through the turns. Brent Dillard is making one last run, but it's not going to be enough. Memphis, open up your record book and turn to a new page. Sam Labanco is your first ever Powerboat race winner in Memphis and our 2009 Can-Am champion. Brent Dillard gets a well-earned second. Mike Cooper will cross the line in third. Sam Labanco went flag to flag. We'll catch up to him as we go to our F3 post-race show here at the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Super League Racing is brought to you by the APBA's Outboard Performance Craft category, the APBA's Turn on a Dime category.
We are back to the shores of the Mississippi here at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta for our F3 post-race show. Mike Tilton has caught up with our third-place finisher, Mike.
Jared standing here with the Magic Man, Mike Hooper. And Mike, I tell you, the Mississippi River is kind of the big equalizer this weekend. Turn 1 and 2 was horrible, and turn 3 and 4 was a little bit easier, but the lap traffic had a lot to do with today's decisions.
It sure did, Mike. I've never seen turning buoys with wakes coming off them, but it was pretty spectacular. One corner, there were bigger holes than the other, but the straightaways were surprisingly very nice to drive down.
Good. I tell you, Labanco and Brent Dillard did a great job out front, and the lap traffic just kind of caught everybody by surprise.
It sure did, Mike. Once you get all those boats out there and you do a couple laps, it begins to be quite the choppy course.
Well, congratulations on third place. Sorry you lost the points lead here, but one more race to go, and I know you're going to come back and get them.
You got that right, Mike.
Toby Hood earned an impressive fourth-place finish, and Tammy Wolf-Jacob joined him in the top 5. Here's Mike with our runner-up. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Second place in Formula 3 this weekend here at the Memphis International Regatta, Brent Dillard. And Brent, a little bit different type of start. We had that pace boat start, and I thought you were catching Sam Labanco there for a little while, but he had that turn 2 nailed down pat.
Oh yeah, it's a new start with the pace boat. I mean, I didn't get too good of a jump off when he dropped the flag to go, so Sam got in front of me, and I was catching him in turn 2, but then he was pulling back away in turn 1, and it was just 20 hard laps of catch, and then he'd pull away, catch, pull away.
Well, I tell you what, you were right behind him at every single turn, every straightaway. How much did you breathe in that whole race?
I don't know, not much. I just kept waiting for him to make a mistake, but he drove a perfect race, and he deserved a big win.
Sounds good. Congratulations on that second place. We move on now, and you might catch him on the next one.
Oh yeah, hopefully we will.
Well, one thing Dillard did catch was the points lead, but he's only 10 points ahead of Mike Cooper. Memphis, here's Mike with your winner.
Jared, the Can-Am champion is Sam Labanco. And Sam, pace boat starts a little bit different. And I tell you what, that orange number 80 of Brent Dillard, was he in both of your rearview mirrors?
He was all over the place. He's a good driver. They got fast equipment, so you know we knew they were going to end up real close.
I tell you, the river here, turn number 1 and 2 was very difficult because of the current, and that's where he had a little bit on you coming out of turn number 2.
Right. In turn number 1, for some reason, it was just a dream for us to get through. I couldn't believe it, but that turn down there, it was a nightmare. I don't know why. We'll think about it, but it was tough down there for us.
Well, you don't have to think about it for long because somebody's going to hand you the Can-Am trophy shortly.
That sounds good to me. We worked pretty hard to get here.
Congratulations. Back to you, Jared.
Thanks, Mike, and again, congrats to our first ever Memphis winner and 2009 Can-Am champ, Sam Labanco. We're only halfway there, race fans. The Formula 2s start their day here at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Super League Racing is brought to you by the Memphis Riverfront Development Corporation. Learn more at memphisriverfront.com.
Welcome back to the lovely metropolis of Memphis, Tennessee, where the fans continue to crowd the shoreline here at Tom Lee Park. Of course, as with any regatta, there is much more going on than just the Powerboat Super League racing. There were plenty of fun ways for the kids to blow off some steam on this gorgeous summer day. This rock climbing wall was just one of the ways kids of all ages could test their skills and have some fun. Well, maybe some had a little too much fun. If you needed a break from the excitement, there was plenty of food to be had at one of the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta's vendors. From barbecue to a sandwich to a cool drink, it wouldn't be a trip to Memphis without a taste of the world-famous cuisine. And on the water, the 5-liter hydroplanes were on hand, giving an exhibition performance. Mike Weber and Billy Witchers were behind the wheels of these amazing machines, wowing the crowd with the roaring engines and 2-story-high rooster tails. These animals have Chevy 305 engines that create over 200 horsepower and propel them across the top of the water at over 115 miles per hour. Obviously, these are a different breed of boat than what we offer with the Powerboat Superleague. Again, with this being the first time our boats have raced with Memphis, let's get better acquainted with the Formula 2 boats that are coming up. The Powerboat Superleague's F2 boats are 16 feet long. With the driver, they must weigh a minimum of 1,100 pounds. Their 200 horsepower engines rocket these boats to speed in excess of 125 miles per hour. The first time these boats raced with the Powerboat Superleague was in 1991 at an event in New Martinsville, West Virginia. Now that you know a little more, let's check out the starting lineup for the Formula 2 Can-Am Championship here at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta. Rob DeNicolantonio from Lakeland, Florida will start 16th. Ara Sergenian from Gainesville, Georgia will start 15th. In 14th, we find Quincy, Ohio's Barry Wolf. Liberty, Missouri's Reuben Stafford starts 13th. Bobby Chafin from up the road in Nashville starts 12th. Howie Nichols from Cocoa, Florida starts in the 11th slot. Lumberton, Texas's Tony Terry earned a top 10 start. Jeff the Jet Reno from Okeechobee, Florida will start 9th. The 8th slot holds Steve Ernst from Loganville, Georgia. In 7th, it's General Lee Daniel from North Augusta, South Carolina. Mike Schubert from Richmond, Texas earned the 6th starting slot. Troy, Missouri's Kelly Kidwell will start 5th. Tampa, Florida's Terry Rinker starts in the 4th place position. Johnny Fleming from the Woodlands, Texas will start 3rd. Starting 2nd, we find our current F2 Series points leader, Mark Jacob. Mike Tilton caught up with Mark along the shores for his comments. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Mark Jacobs here. And Mark, you're the points leader coming in for the Super League, and right now we got 17 boats in the paddock area. They're going to come out here for this final 30-lap main event. Who's your biggest competition?
Oh, there's a lot of competition here, Mike. You got Terry Rinker, you got the Schuberts from Texas. There's boats here that I've never run against, boats that I know that are good, and just want to go out and see what we can do against them and have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, right here on the muddy Mississippi, we're racing for the Can-Am Challenge, and you recently married a former Canadian, so wouldn't that be cool to take that trophy home?
Yeah, it would be great. It'd be great to take something home like that and put on our mantle and have something that represents Canada as well.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, and good luck to you in the 30-lap final.
Thanks, Mike.
And on the pole, we find our defending series champion, Donnie McDowell. He's currently 2nd in points and is looking to move up one notch. Mike met up with him here at Tom Lee Park. Mike.
Thanks, Jared. Donnie McDowell is our former points leader from last year, but he's in the 2nd spot right now. And Donnie, here on the muddy Mississippi with all this competition, it's going to be tough to get to the front and stay there.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging. We're going to try to get a good starting spot off the pace boat there, and go from there. See where we shake out in the first straightaway or two, and try to pick our way on through if we don't get out front to begin with.
I'll tell you what, you got that beautiful Gary Pugh built Pugh hull, and the Pugh hull looks like the boat to beat here in Formula 2.
Yeah, Gary Pugh out of Knoxville, he does a great job on the boat. We purchased this one from him a year ago and did real well with it last year. Like you mentioned, we were the champions with it, and it takes a good boat, a good motor, and a good crew to get it done.
Well, 30 laps coming up. Good luck to you, Donnie.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. The fans are finding their seats along the Mississippi. Why don't you do the same? Grab a friend, grab a drink, grab a flotation device. We're going F2 racing at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Superleague Racing is brought to you by the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Memphis, the home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll.
Welcome back to Memphis, Tennessee, as we are now only seconds away from the start of the first ever Formula 2 race here at Tom Lee Park on the Mississippi. The fans are 3 and 4 rows deep, the length of the shoreline, waiting for the start of this historic race. Let's take a quick look at how they'll line up. Our defending series champ, Donnie McDowell, is on top as the fast qualifier. Mark Jacob, our current points leader, will be right next door in second. Johnny Fleming, Terry Rinker, and Kelly Kidwell round out the top 5 starters. The field is dominated with drivers from the United States. No Canadians accepted the challenge for the Can-Am Cup. Here they come, race fans. 2 rows, 8 wide. What an impressive sight. They come down the front stretch. We see the pace boat peel off to their left, and the green flies. For the first time, the F2s are racing in Memphis. Look at this. Coming right at you, Memphis. On board with Jeff Reno in the eye of the hurricane. 8 wide into turn 1. They all make it through the first turns and fly down the backstretch with Terry Rinker leading the way. Rob DiNicolantonio and Mike Schubert are fighting for the second place spot. They're coming up on Rinker, and now it's a 3-wide fight for the lead into turn 3. DiNicolantonio started last, but now he is in front with Mike Schubert a step away in second. DiNicolantonio went wide out of 4, and now Mike Schubert has the inside line as these two come to the line to start the counter on this 30-lap feature. And Mike Schubert has a run. He comes on the inside and takes the lead. It'll be Mike Schubert earning the honors as the first race leader in Memphis. Look at them skipping across the water at well over 100 miles per hour. DiNicolantonio stays within striking distance of Schubert, but the Texan hits the gas on the backstretch. There we see Rob DiNicolantonio, who had a great qualifying effort, but struck a buoy during time trials and was moved to the end of the field. He's moved from last to fighting for the lead in less than a lap, and the 33 looks to be on fire this afternoon. There goes our leader looking to increase his lead. Jeff Reno is fighting hard for position. 3 wide into 3. We ride on board as Reno moves to the outside and powers by Johnny Fleming and others, moving the silver 34 to 7th. It's a rough day on the Mississippi today. Whoa, a rough ride for our 4th place driver, Terry Rinker. His boat leapt out of the water there, but he keeps racing. And speaking of racing, look at Jeff Reno powering through the field. He's fighting with the 77 boat of Kelly Kidwell for the 6th place position now, looking right into the blinding summer sun. It's Kidwell and Reno side by side. Reno drops the hammer and takes the position on the backstretch. Meanwhile, Howie Nichols has gotten past Rob DiNicolantonio for second in turns 3 and 4. Nichols is a rough water racer, and he skips his boat over the water and takes second from his fellow Floridian. Nichols has been racing with the Super League since 2000. He started racing in the Formula 2 series in 2007 and earned top 5 honors in the championship points last season. We watch Nichols and DiNicolantonio move through turns 1 and 2. Our leader, Mike Schubert, is wasting no time. He's already midway down. Oh! Schubert almost stuffed the boat there. Mike Schubert's day almost came to a violent end. He hit a wave and it almost caught the front end of his boat, shooting him underwater. That's how fast your day can end in boat racing. Oh, bad news for our points leader. We see the 7 boat of Mark Jacob moving off to the side. Not sure what the problem could be, but he's moving off of the course and his day could be over. There's Terry Rinker from Tampa, Florida. He has the brightly painted Ames oil machine in the 4th place spot. As Rinker comes out of turn 4, our leader is all the way down in turn 2. You can see that the water is not letting Mike Schubert hit full speed, but he's keeping his boat upright and well ahead of the field so far today in Memphis. There's 3rd through 5th. Reno is now in 4th and is starting to pester DiNicolantonio for 3rd. There's our 2nd place driver, Howie Nichols, bouncing along the Mississippi. He's trying to stay ahead of this battle that is developing for 3rd behind him. Reno's to the outside of DiNicolantonio. Here they come into turn 3. DiNicolantonio to the inside. Reno shoots wide, looking for some momentum coming out of turn 4. Here they come down the front stretch. Reno stays to the outside, and look at the speed. Reno blows by the 33 like he was parked. Jeff the Jet Reno moves to the 3rd place spot in commanding fashion. Another Super League driver who absolutely loves the rough water, Reno, is proving it today. He's coming off of a 4th place finish in Marietta, Ohio a few weeks ago. The week prior to that, Reno earned his first career Powerboat Super League victory on the rough waters of the Allegheny in Pittsburgh. But there is no quit in Rob DiNicolantonio. A veteran of the Marine Corps, you can bet the pilot in that 33 boat has his teeth gritting together trying to force that boat to the front. This is Rob's first race with the Super League in 2009, and he's looking to make the best of it here in Memphis. We find Terry Rinker minding the store in 5th. He knows that there are plenty of laps left in this race, and he could be just biding his time for a run at the front. Rinker is a longtime boat racer with his brother Randy, who is also a racer in the Powerboat Super League. Now his son Robbie is starting a career in the SST 45 class, and we might see a father-son matchup someday soon. Rinker is on the backstretch, and our leader Mike Schubert is on the front stretch, trying to build up a massive lead as the sun sets on the muddy Mississippi here today. Schubert is one of several Texans in the field today, and he's looking for his first career victory in Powerboat Super League competition. Just look at these boats skipping across the top of the water at over 100 miles per hour. Meanwhile, we catch up with Jeff Reno, who is flying in 3rd. He now has his crosshairs fixed on that 4 boat of Howie Nichols. Reno leaves the water. Wow, you can see how hard Jeff Reno is pushing that 34 boat. Reno has been racing for nearly 2 decades. He got his first taste of victory this season in Pittsburgh, and he wants another here today in Memphis. There's the 2nd place boat of Howie Nichols off the end of Reno's nose. Both of these drivers know how to battle on rough water. Howie Nichols is from Cocoa, Florida, and raced in the Formula 3 ranks for several years before moving up to the F2s. He's using every trick in his playbook to keep that 34 boat to the rear here on lap 7 of this 30-lap feature. There you saw some of the debris in the water that's been plaguing the racing all weekend long here in Memphis. Out of turn 2 and down the backstretch goes the Protect USA boat of Howie Nichols. Now Reno looks like he hit the afterburners and is attacking Nichols to the outside. We're right on board Reno as he moves to the outside of Nichols. Reno again takes turn 4 wide and picks up some serious speed down the front stretch. There he goes. Reno takes 2nd in the same fashion he stole 3rd from Rob DiNicolantonio. Reno is providing a lesson on rough water racing to the fans at Tom Lee Park. He now has the leader in his sights. Mike Schubert is moving by our defending series champ, Donnie McDowell, on the backstretch. And Jeff Reno is going to make a move for the lead. He threads the needle next to McDowell, going into 3, and moves alongside of Schubert for the lead. Side by side out of 4, and the crowd is on their feet. Jeff Reno takes the lead in Memphis. Back on board with our leader as he moves by Lee Daniel and solidifies his position as our new race leader. Jeff Reno started the race in the 9th place slot and has taken the lead on lap 10. We need to get a break in here. It's Jeff Reno ahead of Schubert, Nichols, DiNicolantonio, and Rinker. Don't move, race fans. We have more coming up from the 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta right after this.
This segment of Powerboat Super League Racing is brought to you by the American Powerboat Association. Learn more at apba-racing.com.
We are back to the waning laps of the Formula 2 feature here at the Memphis International Riverfront Regatta. Jeff Reno took the lead from Mike Schubert on lap 10 and has not looked back. We ride with our race leader now with the beautiful skyline of Memphis, Tennessee racing by to the right. Mike Schubert is in 2nd ahead of this guy, Howie Nichols. He and Reno had a brief but spirited battle for position earlier in the race. Now he's trying to catch up to our 2nd place driver, Mike Schubert, as they come to turns 1 and 2. Schubert rifled to the lead on the first lap, but fell victim to the silver 34 on lap 10, and has been playing second fiddle to Jeff Reno the entire race. There's fourth place Rob DeNicolantonio. He started last and made it to the front briefly at the race's start, only to be overtaken by Mike Schubert. The 33 has been fighting to stay ahead of the 10 boat of Terry Rinker as he tries to come up with some way to get in front of the field with only a handful of laps remaining. The water here on the Mississippi has been rough all weekend long as we see second through fourth coming right at you, Memphis. Here's the distance between second and third as Schubert and Nichols go through 1 and 2. Bad luck for Donnie McDowell. He hooked a buoy, and our defending series champs' bad luck in Memphis continues as we watch the second place boat of Mike Schubert make his way down the backstretch. He's coming into turns 3 and 4, and our leader is already going into turns 1 and 2 at the other end of the race course. There's our leader, the pride of Okeechobee, Florida, Jeff the Jet Reno. He earned his first career Powerboat Superleague victory in Pittsburgh in July and is looking to add another trophy to his mantle as the first ever winner here in Memphis. The 34 qualified ninth and has flown through the field on his way to the lead. And now he comes down the front stretch one last time and sees the white flag. 1 to go, 1 more lap to the checkered, and Jeff Reno is completing a dominant performance, leading 2/3 of this race. Through 1 and 2, the leader is slow. Not sure what's going on, but Jeff Reno is stalled out of turn 1. It looks like his engine is given out. He's dead in the water. Reno's dead in the water with less than a lap remaining. Not sure if he can get it restarted, but Mike Schubert is flying into turn 1. The canopy is up. Our leader is out of the race. Here comes Mike Schubert to collect an early Christmas present. Mike Schubert has taken the lead on the last lap, and here comes Howie Nichols to the outside. Nichols and Schubert are nose to nose for the lead on the final lap. Schubert inches ahead, but Nichols is in his hip pocket with less than a half a mile to go. Into the final turns with Rob DeNicolantonio coming on strong. Down the front stretch they come. It's Schubert in the lead with DeNicolantonio fighting with Nichols for second. To the line, who's going to be in the history books? Memphis, Mike Schubert will be your first ever F2 winner. Rob DeNicolantonio came flying in to take second. Howie Nichols is third, and Jeff Reno has got to be the sickest driver in the world right now. Bad luck, and Mike Schubert snatched victory from Jeff the Jet on the last lap. The F2 post-race show in Memphis is next.
The 2009 Memphis International Riverfront Regatta's presentation of Powerboat Superleague Racing has been brought to you by the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Memphis, the home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll. By the Memphis Riverfront Development Corporation, creating a world-class riverfront in Memphis. By the American Powerboat Association. Learn more at apba-racing.com. And by aprsuperleague.com. The official website of Powerboat Superleague.
We welcome you back to Memphis once more for the Formula 2 post-race show. There you see the final results. Mike Schubert is your first ever F2 winner in Memphis. But with a little more luck, it would have been Jeff Reno, whose engine went silent on the final lap. Disappointment doesn't come close.
Oh, that's definitely the understatement. This rough water, I love it. And I had walked away from some people that I didn't think I could even race against and put some of them a lap down. And then whatever happened at the end, I don't know, but it sure hurt my feelings.
I'm sure it did, but it gave the fans here in Memphis a fantastic finish. Terry Rinker and Kelly Kidwell rounded out the top 5 finishers. Here's our third place finisher.
Third's third. It's more points towards the championship at the year end, so we're just ecstatic. Everything's in one piece. The boat's good, motor's good, I'm good. We're looking forward to the next event and see what happens.
Our F2 points leader, Mark Jacob, finished a disappointing 14th. Here's our runner-up in Memphis.
I mean, I got to give Howie credit. He raced a good race. He maintained his lane. He could easily cut me off, slam the door on me. He knew it was rough out there. I think he played it safe for me, and he allowed me to get in the inside of it.
Despite the poor showing in Memphis, Mark Jacob holds on to his lead in the championship points. But our defending champ, Donnie McDowell, moves a few points closer. He's just 41 points back. Memphis, here's your first ever Formula 2 winner.
The rough water helped me a little bit, so we go out there. I'm in the lead. The water's getting pretty nasty, so I just back off a little bit and drive to my comfort level. 34 boat comes flying by me. I was like, well, if he wants it that bad, he can have it. And then, so then I'm hanging on to second place, just trying to make it through, run the boat as hard as I can through the water conditions that were out there. And I come around the turn and I see him dead in the water, and I said, oh, I'm in the lead again. By the end of the race, I had 2 other boats right behind me, and I was holding on as hard as I could just to stay in front.
The first ever Memphis International Riverfront Regatta has been a spectacular event. On the water, the Powerboat Superleague did not disappoint. Sam LeBanco went flag to flag and entered his name in the record books as the first F3 winner here in Memphis. In the Formula 2's, Jeff Reno looked to be the winner, but Mike Schubert crossed the line and left the Jets singing the blues. For Mike Tilton, the entire production team, and everyone with the Powerboat Superleague, I'm Jared Romsberg. Thank you for a great time, Memphis. Until 2010, race fans, we'll see you on the water.